With the announcement of Ghost of Yotei last month, initially penciled for release in 2025, I felt a yearning to dive back into good old Ghost of Tsushima, and before you know it, it had consumed 2 weeks of my life, and yes, I do plan to make a critical video of sorts in the near future, but while I was there racking up the hours, petting foxes, and destroying sliding doors simply because it makes for a faster entry, I, in my infinite business knowledge, decided it may very well be a shout to, while I'm at it, breathe some new life into the old reliable series, effectively exploring the secrets of games that I like in a list format. So in today's video you can expect me to explore 10 Ghost of Tsushima secrets that may simply be well hidden things or full-blown Easter eggs, because as far as games are concerned it's an obvious choice for a series such as this, and I'm honestly surprised I haven't done it yet. Now I should warn you, I can't promise to be treading uncharted territory. The game has been out for a few years now. However, if you ask me, it's still fun to explore a game's secrets even if you're a tad late to the party. But of course there will be timestamps in the description should you wish to navigate to specific secrets or just see what this video is comprised of before committing 15 minutes of your life to it. But now that all the front-end bollocks has been adequately chatted, please enjoy 10 secrets in Ghost of Tsushima. Okay, to begin with, without divulging any major important spoilers for those who are yet to finish the game, once the main story is concluded, you load back into the world at your new hideout. I'm led to believe its name and location depends on the ending you choose, but either way the first secret of the day can be found within. While waddling around your shack taking in the sights, you may notice a table filled with origami, and these pieces for obvious reasons seem out of place in a game set in the 13th century. It would appear as if this table is filled with nods to other PlayStation titles. Gran Turismo, Ratchet & Clank, Horizon, Days Gone, Shadow of the Colossus, God of War, The Last of Us I presume, the logo of Kojima Productions, a ball and bat that seemingly nods to MLB The Show, and what is perhaps meant to depict an imp from Dreams. If I've missed any in there, for instance I couldn't tell you for the life of me what this is meant to be, let me know in the comments section, I'd massively appreciate it. But I think it's clear Sucker Punch Productions were proud to add Ghost of Tsushima to this lineup of PlayStation titles, sticking this amalgamation of references at the end in hopes that you'll be proud of it too. But don't think for a second it's going to make me feel bad for playing this on PC with an Xbox controller. There is only one way that I enjoy my games, and that is sacrilegiously. As for today's second secret, it comes both in inverted commas and as a reward for bathing in every hot spring in Tsushima. Now, bathing in these hot springs gives you more health, and so once you've dunked in them all, as you can imagine your health bar gets quite lengthy. But once you've done the lot, the game will grant you an outfit for your troubles, or should I say, lack thereof. The Fundoshi outfit is just Jin's underpants, complete with the caption, "A true samurai needs no clothes. Jin Sakai after too much sake." And it's my opinion that there's only one piece of headgear appropriate for this attire. The straw basket hat that can be found not far from Jogaku Temple in the third act of the game. So if you wish for Jin to be anonymously nude, not that I think Ghost of Tsushima was intended for you to do this, it's got you covered. In fairness, this attire isn't an advantageless naked state. Running and sprinting make no noise. So if you decide to be rapid and stealthy, it's not a bad shout. The next one is a tad more long-winded to accomplish. It requires you to acquire Gosaku's armor, which can be acquired through the mythic tale, the Unbreakable Gosaku, which is perhaps the most long-winded of mythic tales, but follow it through and you'll be fine. And then you need to head to a merchant in the region made available by the third act, and then dye the armor in the colour scheme Ocean's Guardian. And once that's done, we'll need to head off and acquire a couple more bits and pieces. The first piece of vanity gear necessary is located atop a pagoda to the south of Jogaku Temple, and these are fairly straightforward to climb with the use of the grappling hook and typically have something worthwhile atop them. Nonetheless, it's here where we will find the Crooked Kama headband, which for the record looks like this. And then for the other piece of vanity gear we need to head to this Pillar of Honour, also located in the northernmost region, for it's this pillar that shall yield the sword kit Sly Tanuki. Forgive my no doubt somewhere in this video erroneous pronunciation. No matter, once you've equipped all of these items at once, you will acquire the trophy or achievement Cooper Clan Cosplayer, simply captioned Dress Up as a Legendary Thief. And this is obviously a reference to the Sly Cooper games. I've never played the Sly Cooper games, but it's a cool trophy to acquire. And for our next secret, we'll need to head to the Omi Monastery. For here, atop another pagoda, we can find another piece of vanity gear that appears to reference something. And I am of course talking about the Band of the Second Sun, captioned the colours of a warrior from a distant time and place. This band is of course a nod to previous Sucker Punch Productions title, infamous Second Sun, and bears similarities to that game's protagonist Delsin Ro's beanie hat. It even comes complete with a little label that, when translated from Japanese to English, reads Seattle 138, and the reason for that is fairly obvious. Now, should you go yearning for a cool aesthetic for your sword, look no further than this Pillar of Honor located at the very south of the map, on an isle called Iki Island. Now, I've seen people online say the only way to get to this isle is to swim, but that's nonsense. There's actually a corridor of low tide, and when we get here, not only are we met with a Pillar of Honor that grants us the Twilight Oni, which is a rather cool skin for your blades if you ask me, we also get to see some corpses that appear to tell a story of their own. These two, for instance, appear to have died by each other's hands, and further away there appears to be a third body. Whatever story ended here is now lost to the deathly stillness, and for our troubles we get a cool new look to our blade. For our sixth thing of the day, across Tsushima you can find hidden altars, of which in order to acquire a trophy you need to locate 10 of them. Now, being hidden, they have no real direct map markers, and the only way they can really be located is with your boots on the ground, because you may notice these signposts, indicating that you should bow in their proximity. Doing so at any of these locations will yield a rather over-the-top effect. For instance, the fish going skits, getting encircled by a platoon of gentlemanly crabs, getting swarmed by insects galore, or indeed momentarily befriending a bird. And if that isn't good enough for you, then frogs certainly will be. There's lots of them. Where did they come from? This world will be yours one day, my frog brethren. Anyway, upon locating 10 of these altars and bowing in their presence, you will unlock a trophy/achievement if you're on PC like me. It is called Honor the Unseen. For our 7th secret, so to speak, of the day, Ghost of Tsushima typically keeps its storytelling and world interaction quite well marked out. However, there's a short, comparatively hidden mission of sorts located a stone's throw from Exile's Bluff. We'll find a monk fella standing among corpses. Speaking with him yields the following information.
So many dead. But there's no blood. What happened?
A plague, my lord. Dead bodies were dumped in the well, and these people unknowingly drank from it.
A terrible way to die. We should bury the dead.
Burning them is the only way to keep the plague from spreading. But I fear that may not be enough. One of the sick is missing.
I'll find him.
There are footsteps leading away from here. I believe he ran for help.
If he's alive, I'll get him to a healer. Otherwise, I'll burn the body.
And following that conversation, we won't receive any mission markers whatsoever. However, when examining the cause of the plague being this well, we can discover there is a corpse in it, which likely doesn't help. As for the infected man the monk says got away, well, we can find him too. All we have to do is follow some footprints away from the site, and sure enough, he's dead as well.
There he is. I should let the monk know.
So with the poor man's remains now adequately on fire, all that remains is to return to the monk to conclude this non-existent quest.
I saw the smoke over the hills. Thank you, my lord.
Will the plague be contained?
Once I've finished here, I'll seal the well so no one can drink from it. Thank you, my lord.
You do get a bit of legend increase for your troubles, but otherwise, that's kind of it. There is, however, no explanation for why these random people were drinking water from a well in which there was, quite obviously, a dead body. It's an unsettling event, and I can't quite put my finger on why. For our 8th secret of the day, we're going to venture over to the DLC area, Iki Island. I'm yet to have defogged this map entirely, so you're going to have to forgive me for that. But located to the west of Fort Sakai, at the very top end of a stream trailing off Kitsune's Pond, we can find a waterfall. However, that's not all it is, as this waterfall actually hides a passage. Should we squeeze on through, we'll find ourselves in a rather hellish chamber filled with candles, and it's here where we can find a rather menacing mask, the demonic Archer's Mask. This menacing bit of kit cannot be worn with a helmet, but it makes up for it with the fact that it looks utterly terrifying. So if you think Jin needs to look a tad more demonic, now you know where to look. Now, before we get carried away and venture too far away, part of the next secret is also in the exact same location. On the wall of this devilish mini cavern, we can find a mural that appears to also be a nod to Sly Cooper. I've increased the brightness and raised the contrast, so hopefully you can see it a tad better, but this mural found next to the demonic Archer's Mask isn't the only nod to Sly Cooper found on Iki Island, as should we venture to the south of the island, should we approach this rough spot from more or less the north, we can find another painting referencing those games in a cave, except this piece of artwork appears to have been made to blend in a tad more. That being said, it still depicts a raccoon, hippo and turtle. And for our final secret of the day, please forgive the bloke outside who obviously chopped the exhaust off his one series. If we head to the far southwest of Iki Island, I know it's a bit tricky to see here, but there's a little lip where we can find a thin but very tall rock formation. Should we clamber it, not only will we find some rather snazzy monkey statues pertinent to a trophy/achievement, but immortalised in murals we can find this emblem from infamous Second Son, and should we stay the course a bit, we shouldn't have too much difficulty encountering a second mural that appears to depict Cole MacGrath from infamous 1 and 2. It's clear Sucker Punch like cherishing and referencing their previous titles, and why shouldn't they? But before we dart off, make sure you bow to the 3 monkey statues found here, because they contribute towards a trophy. And with that, we find ourselves at the conclusion for today's video. I wish to thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends, all that wonderful stuff. It'll be massively appreciated. And of course, if there are more secrets in Ghost of Tsushima that you'd like to see me cover in a prospective part 2, please let me know down in the comments section. After all, that's part of the reason why it's there. Also, feel free to call me a dickhead. I don't know why you would, but you certainly could. But look, with any luck, I hope to see you all in another video at some point. But until next time, please take care and goodbye.